Like many places around the world, Mexico can go through moments of tension, and Michoacan in the last few days has had a difficult time. I'd like to share what my daily life is like here, not to speculate or analyze, and definitely not to criticize, but just to relay what it's like to live here with both the beauty and the uncertainty. This morning started like most mornings start here for me. The dogs woke me with the sun, and I made coffee and stepped outside and heard nothing but the pines moving in the breeze. It was one of those soft, ordinary beginnings that make you forget that the world can get complicated. I had plans today, nothing important, a grocery run, checking on a sick friend, stopping by the mercado, just normal life. But before I left, I checked my phone, and that's when the day changed. These last few days in Michoacan have been more tense than usual. Road closures, some blocked highways, and a general feeling of uncertainty in the air. I'm not here to give news or commentary, I just want to share what daily life looks like during times like this, and how I stay grounded and safe as a solo woman living in Mexico. There were messages in the neighborhood group and on Facebook. People were turning back from the highway and several roads had been blocked. Vehicles were burning on the routes near my area, close enough that everyone agreed it wasn't a good day to be out driving. There was no panic, no dramatic language, just the calm, practical way people here look out for one another. Stay home today, we'll see how things unfold. And I'll be honest, it was unsettling. You can love a place and still feel a flicker of fear when the world outside shifts like that. So I stayed home. It felt like the right choice to wait, to listen, and to let the day settle. And what strikes me here is how life just keeps going, even in these moments of tension. With noticias all over the internet about what was happening, at home everything was steady. The dogs slept, I heard music from the neighbor's house. The day didn't feel disrupted, just slowed, like everything had taken a small step back. Tamo is here today, so instead of going out, I jumped in to help with the garden. It's exciting to see the progress in the yard. I got my work clothes on and grabbed the wheelbarrow. Tamo had cleared some of the many beds in front of the casita, and it's much more cleaned up. But I don't want the weeds to take over, and I want to protect the soil over the winter, so I hauled a bunch of material to cover this one big bed. It's just leaves, weeds, brush we've collected as we pare everything down, and I'm using it like mulch. I walked out to the field and I was measuring out a possible footprint for a future fenced vegetable garden, trying to get a feel for the land as a whole and where things should go. I'd like a fence made out of cow panels possibly, with several raised beds inside where I can grow flowers, herbs, and vegetables. I'm going to need water out here too, so that will take some work. Right now, repairing the casita has to be the number one priority, but it's fun to dream of what we could build later. I'm excited to say that the casita's roof has finally been fixed. I hope so anyway. I have a 12-year guarantee on the impermeable new roof. And now I'm waiting for everything to dry, inside and out, before we begin to work on fixing up the interior. It's going to be so cool. I think a paint job will do wonders for this place. It makes me ridiculously excited. I'm looking forward to having someone there eventually. It's been so peaceful here, and the neighbors around me have been so warm and welcoming, but having a renter in the casita feels right. A little more life on the land, a little company without losing the quiet. Tamo and I also finally cleaned out the bodega, full of years of old detritus of country living. Mostly trash, but also some possible useful things, like a few tools and various fungicides and herbicides. Getting rid of stuff is one of the hardest parts about moving to a new country, and here I am doing it again with someone else's stuff. This is a holiday week, and I suspect that is why the normal trash guys didn't come to pick up, so I have all this waiting in the driveway for whenever they do come. I didn't hear any more news, but I kept one eye on my usual sources, the way you do when life feels like it might shift again. I left Tamo to his kingdom of tools and came inside to clean up, peeling off my clothes and scrubbing the dust from my skin. Then I wandered out for a short walk through the neighborhood. The air still held a faint sweetness from the altars, and when I passed the cemetery, the Day of the Dead flowers were still there, bright in the sun, softening the edges of everything. Then I turned towards the things I don't make time for enough. The memoir I'm writing about the last few years, emails, and the little piles of life that wait for a still moment. But it wasn't meant to be. I had left the door open for the dogs, and a few minutes later I heard a commotion in the living room. A small bird had flown inside and was flapping against the windows, trying desperately to get out. Opened every window, and eventually it found its way back to freedom. While all of this was happening, Olive reappeared with something in her mouth.
Uh-oh, did she get another one? She got something. Oh my God, that's the 4th lizard she's got in the last 3 days. Olive, you're a murderer.
She's become obsessed with hunting the little lizards that dart over the rocks and stone walls, and this time she actually caught one. I had to block the doorway until she took it back outside. I joke with her that if she's such a great hunter, maybe she could help me with the mouse in the kitchen, and incredibly, she did. Somehow she cornered the poor thing in a bottom cabinet and killed it instantly with her giant jaws. It freaked me out, and I swept the little body outside, already thinking about what they say. If you see one mouse, there are usually more. When I first moved in, the kitchen showed all the signs of long-term mouse residency. I even found one dead on my very first morning here, and I tried not to take that as an omen.
There looks to be dead.
After a deep scrub of the whole house and being meticulous in the kitchen, the mice disappeared for a couple of months, but now they're back. Small and fast, I've seen them scurry past in the evenings, and the dogs clearly know it too.
Unbelievable boldness.
So now I need to figure out a solution before this gets out of hand. Whether it's small animal dramas or the tension in the region and road closures, I kind of have to watch myself because after decades of being a nurse and sometimes responding to urgent situations, my body just tries to go into like crisis mode before it's warranted. I feel myself tightening up, I feel the adrenaline, and I go into this mode of, solving the problem and bracing for impact and really that kind of response right now doesn't help anyone. So I need to really watch that and just respond to the situation and the reality of what is here now. And the reality is dogs running around barking at the neighbors, Tamo outside making progress, and neighbors and friends just a phone call away. The dogs, of course, have no idea anything unusual is going on. Vigo chases birds he's never going to catch. Olive leans against my leg the way she always does. And they're happy dogs. I'm not trying to ignore the situation here in Mexico, and I certainly keep up with the news. But the truth is, millions of Mexicans live their normal, beautiful, and complicated lives here in the same reality every day. And before anyone comments that I must have a death wish for living here, trust me, I don't. If I had a death wish, I wouldn't be obsessing over garden plans, casita renovations, and the mouse under my sink. I understand where those comments come from. When you're watching from far away, all you see are the headlines. But life on the ground here is much bigger and quieter than that. I think about the fact that I chose to live in the countryside. If I had lived in the city, most of life would be going on as normal. Shops open, people working, traffic moving. But out here in the space between towns, I have to pay more attention to what's happening on the roads and in the areas in between. I guess that's part of choosing a rural life, the beauty and the quiet, but also the need to be aware of the stretches you have to cross to get anywhere. I hope things calm down soon, and I hope the beauty of this place and the strength of the people who lived here carry us through this moment. I walk out by the bottlebrush tree, humming with bees. The birds are especially chatty in the twilight. Lavender scents the air, and little funny grasshoppers jump around me. I find it so satisfying to find some errant bamboo and cut it. This is my life in Michoacan, beautiful, complicated, and even with everything happening around me, all the hardships people are facing, I'm grateful every single day. Sometimes I catch myself wondering, was this all it took? Some yard work and free time? Some space to breathe? After all those years of unhappiness and struggle, this is all it took, is a beautiful place and some time to myself? Well, maybe it is, maybe it was, or maybe it took all those years of hardship and struggle for me to see and recognize what a peaceful life can be and how beautiful it can be. Maybe that's why it means so much, because all those years of struggle enabled me to recognize when peace finally arrived. As the house grew quiet, I kept thinking about the people nearby whose day didn't end as peacefully. Ordinary people just living their lives, caught in something they never asked for. So tonight, as I lock up the house and the dogs settle for the night, I feel two things at once: gratitude for the safety and community I have here, and a deep hope that the people around me, my neighbors, the families in nearby towns, get to end their days in peace too. I don't take any of it for granted.